Welcome to the Conflict Zone, a channel dedicated to informing about major conflict points around the world.
هنية مات في الإيران. سنوار. وين سنوار?
In this video, we'll discuss the elimination of Yahya Sinwar, the leader of the terrorist group Hamas, and explore what this means for Hamas moving forward. More importantly, how does this affect the ongoing war in the Gaza Strip?
Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell to stay updated with all our latest news.
Yahya Sinwar, for those less familiar with his history, was a pivotal figure in Hamas, one of the primary terrorist organizations in Palestine. He was born in the Khan Yunis refugee camp in southern Gaza, growing up amid severe poverty, a background that had a profound impact on him. Sinwar joined Hamas not long after its formation in the 1980s and quickly gained recognition for his ruthless military acumen. In 1989, he was sentenced to 4 life terms for his involvement in the killing of 2 Israeli soldiers and 4 Palestinians he suspected of collaborating with Israel. During the 22 years he spent in prison, he became a key figure within Hamas before being released in 2011 in a prisoner swap for the Israeli soldier Gilad Shalit. After his release, Sinwar took charge of Hamas in Gaza in 2017 and became one of Israel's most feared strategists. In the years following, he solidified his position by planning various attacks against Israel, including the deadly assault on October 7, 2023, which resulted in the deaths of over 1,200 civilians and the capture of hundreds more. This attack, which Sinwar masterminded, marked a dramatic escalation in the ongoing conflict, as it deceived Israel into believing Hamas had been deterred from direct strikes before launching one of the bloodiest operations against the Israeli state in decades. One notable aspect of Sinwar's leadership was his ability to adapt to changing conditions. He abandoned electronic communications, opting for a manual courier system to avoid being tracked by Israeli intelligence. However, despite these precautions, he couldn't evade Israeli forces forever. After a year of relentless pursuit, Sinwar was finally killed in an unexpected encounter with an Israeli military patrol. Preliminary reports suggest that Sinwar was killed by Israeli troops during a routine patrol in Gaza. His death occurred when Israeli forces stumbled upon him and 2 other militants in a bombed-out building. It appears the group was attempting to flee when they were located and killed by tank fire. What makes this event particularly surprising is that his death wasn't the result of a meticulously planned operation, as has been the case with many other Hamas leaders. Instead, it seems Israel's forces got lucky in their long hunt for Sinwar. His death represents a significant symbolic win for Israel, especially for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who has been under pressure to achieve tangible successes in the war against Hamas, even after recent victories against Hezbollah. Still, it would be a mistake to assume that Sinwar's elimination brings an end to the conflict. Hamas is a highly organized group with a decentralized leadership structure and multiple layers of command. While Sinwar's death will certainly impact morale within Hamas, it could also provoke an escalation in violence as the group seeks retaliation. It's important to note that Hamas has survived the loss of key leaders in the past, such as Ismail Haniyeh, killed in July 2024, and Mohammed Deif, who was targeted in an airstrike 3 months ago. Looking ahead, what does this mean for Hamas? While its leadership has been weakened by significant losses, the organization still has enough military power to continue existing and posing a threat to Israel. Hamas' network of underground tunnels, a critical component of its survival strategy, remains operational. However, Sinwar's death gives Israel an opportunity to intensify its focus on other leaders within the group. On the Palestinian side, Sinwar's death could lead to internal friction within Hamas, especially between its political and military factions. On the other hand, it may also embolden the more extreme elements within the group, who could interpret his death as a call to increase attacks on Israel. Ultimately, the killing of Yahya Sinwar marks a pivotal moment in the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas. While it's an unquestionable victory for Israel, it should not be seen as the conclusion of the conflict or as the end of Hamas as a significant threat. The Middle East remains a region where actions often trigger unpredictable consequences. Despite its weakened state, Hamas has not been entirely defeated, and the war in Gaza appears far from over.
A year ago, Yahya Sinwar, the terrorist chief of Hamas, launched the October 7th massacre against Israel. It was the bloodiest attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust. It was the worst attack on the Jewish state since the founding of Israel. Sinwar's terrorists murdered in cold blood 1,200 people. That's elderly people, Holocaust survivors, children. They brutally raped women. They beheaded men. They burned babies alive. And they took some 250 men, 251 women, men, and children hostage to the dungeons of Gaza. Today, the mastermind of this day of sheer evil is no more. Yahya Sinwar is dead. He was killed in Rafah by the brave soldiers of the Israel Defense Forces. While this is not the end of the war in Gaza, it's the beginning of the end. To the people of Gaza, I have a simple message. This war can end tomorrow. It can end if Hamas lays down its arms and returns our hostages. Hamas is holding 101 hostages in Gaza, who are citizens of 23 countries, citizens of Israel, but citizens of many other countries. Israel is committed to doing everything in our power to bring all of them home. And Israel will guarantee the safety of all those who return our hostages. But to those who would harm our hostages, I have another message. Israel will hunt you down and bring you to justice. I also have a message of hope to the peoples of the region. The axis of terror that was built by Iran is collapsing before our eyes. Nasrallah is gone. His deputy Muhsin is gone. Haniyeh is gone. Def is gone. Sinwar is gone. The reign of terror that the Iranian regime has imposed on its own people and on the peoples of Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen, this too will come to an end. All those who seek a future of prosperity and peace in the Middle East should unite to build a better future. Together, we can push back the forces of darkness and create a future of light and hope for all of us.
If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure to do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with the latest news. See you in the next video.